Good evening. I am Arachna of the Spider People, your hostess with a mostess. And welcome to Beware Theater, because this be where you're gonna see some really bad movies. We have vampires, werewolves, monsters, aliens, and of course, the undead. So take a load off, pull up a couch, and fasten your seatbelt. It's gonna be a creepy night. Tonight we watch silent horror movie classic Nosferatu. It was made in 1922 by German expressionist filmmaker F.W. Murnau. Murnau had long wanted to make a movie about vampires, and he was fascinated with Bram Stoker's novel Dracula. So he thought he could make an adaptation of it, even though he didn't have the rights to it. He thought if maybe he changed some names, maybe the plot, maybe some other things, that he would be okay. For example, he changed the word vampire to the Nosferatu, which in Old Romanian is supposed to mean the devil, or maybe a vampire. He also changed Count Dracula's name to Count Orlov. He almost got away with it until Bram Stoker's wife sued him for copyright infringement, and then the courts made him destroy all the masters and the prints. Lucky for us, some of them survived, even though they are a little grainy. This movie is about a creepy count from Transylvania who buys a house in a German seaport city and moves in, bringing with him death, terror, and the plague. Some neighbor. Although those themes were very relevant in 1922 because Europe was still recovering from World War I, and the Spanish flu had killed 50 million people worldwide just 3 years before this movie was made. Nosferatu has had many versions, some where they tinted the black and white images to indicate daytime, nighttime, some where they had a different score because the original score by Hans Erdmann was mainly lost, and some had different intertitles to make them more legible. So tonight, with great respect for this masterpiece, you're going to see yet another version, the Beware Theater version. I've taken some creative license to make this silent movie, well, less silent. So now we watch Nosferatu, the Beware Theater version.
Nosferatu. Does this word not sound like the death bird calling your name at midnight? His name alone could chill the blood. Beware you never say it, for then the pictures of life will fade to shadows. Haunting dreams will climb forth from your heart and feed on your blood. Was it Nosferatu who brought the plague to Weisburg in 1838? I have reflected at length on the origin and passing of the Great Death in my hometown of Weisburg. Here is the story. Once in Weisburg lived a man named Hutter and his young wife Ellen. Oh, Ellen, I have something for you. Mwah. Mwah. Oh, why did you kill them? Because I love you. Not so fast, my young friend. Professor Bulwer, hello. No one can outrun their fate. There was an estate agent named Knock, about whom all sorts of rumors circulated. The only thing for certain was that he paid his people well. Good news. Oh, what does this say? Good news. Otter, come here. Count Orlok, His Grace from Transylvania wishes to purchase a nice house in our little town. You could earn a tidy sum. Go plan your trip. You might have to go to a bit of trouble, a little sweat, and maybe a little blood. Otter! He wants a nice, empty house. What house? That house, across from yours. Offer him that one. Off with you. Have a good trip, my young friend, to the land of phantoms. Ellen, I have great news. I must travel far, far away to the land of thieves and phantoms. Mwah.
I will miss you terribly.
Here, help me with my shirt. I love you. Don't worry, I'll be back before you know it. So Hutter entrusted his anxious wife to the care of his friend Harding and his sister Anne.
Oh, Hutter, my darling. Oh, Hutter. Oh.
Don't worry, we'll take good care of her.
Hutter. Goodbye, my beloved.
Hatter's journey took him down countless dusty roads until finally the Carpathian Mountains gleamed above him. Quickly, bring me my dinner. I'm off to Count Orloff's castle. You can't go any further tonight. The werewolf is roaming the forest. What a bunch of nonsense. Good luck. You'll need it.
Your bed is ready, sir.
Thank you. What's this? From the seed of Belial sprang the vampire Nosferatu, who liveth and feedeth on human blood. This unholy creature liveth in sinister caves, tombs, and coffins, which are filled with cursed dirt from the fields of the Black Death. Nonsense! What a bunch of nonsense. Whoa! Why did you stop? We go no further. You get off here. Here's your bag. Good luck. You'll need it. As soon as Hutter crossed the bridge, he was seized by eerie visions.
You are late. It is almost midnight. The servants are asleep.
Our young friend Hutter is definitely in over his head. He's this grinning, smiling, naive young newlywed who doesn't think twice of traveling 1,000 miles and being gone for 2 months in order to sell a house. Wasn't there an easier way to make a living back then? His commission better be pretty good. Ellen, his young wife, however, sees the writing on the wall. Hutter's not so smart. And Hutter's boss, Knock? What a scary weirdo. Reading occult symbols and giggling like he knows something nobody else does. You know what they say, never trust a real estate agent who gives you a contract you can't understand. On a side note, F.W. Murnau was a very innovative filmmaker. Back then, in the silent movies, the cameras were huge and heavy and hard to move around, and they had to be cranked. The camera operators had to keep up a steady rhythm so the movie wasn't jerky. That's why most of the silent movies were made in a studio. Not F.W. Murnau. He lugged those cameras and made most of the shots on location. He also had some very innovative lighting and camera angles that made this movie very creepy. Look for them. What seems normal today was very innovative back in 1922. What started out as a great adventure for Hutter has turned into the trip from hell, literally. You would think that he would catch on that he's going to visit a vampire. But no, all the signals go right over his head, like reading a vampire book, like the stagecoach driver who was too afraid to go on, and that mysterious coach that picks him up and drops him off at that dilapidated castle. Hello, Hutter, I'd turn back if I were you. And Deadly, get down from there. That coach is haunted. Plus it goes way too fast. You're going to get a ticket.
Ouch!
Wait, let me see that. You've hurt yourself. The precious blood.
No!
Can we not stay together a little while longer, my lovely man? It's still quite a long time until sunrise, and I sleep by day, dear fellow, completely dead to the world. Sit. Sleep.
As soon as the sun rose, the shadows of night retreated from Hutter. Finding last night's dinner still on the table, he helped himself to breakfast. My darling dearest, do not be troubled that your beloved is far away. The mosquitoes here are a terrible nuisance. Two just bit me on the neck, side by side, quite close together. One dreams deeply in this desolate castle, but don't let that frighten you. Hey, you! Will you post this letter for me? Hutter finished his letter to Ellen and gave it to a passing courier to post. Thank you. As evening fell, the evening light seemed to bring the castle's shadows to life again.
Are these all the documents? What? Is that your wife? She has a lovely throat. I will buy that house, the deserted one, across from yours.
Oh, Ellen, I miss you so. Hutter discovered the vampire book he had taken from the inn. He could not resist reading a little more. Suddenly, Hutter felt the presence of the Nosferatu. At that very moment back in Weisburg, Ellen sensed danger to her husband.
Ellen! Ellen!
Hutter, Hutter, hear me. Oh. Oh, Hutter.
Ellen!
Oh.
A doctor! Get a doctor!
No! No! Hutter! No! Hutter! No! No! Hutter! Oh. Oh.
Doctor, what is it?
Just a mild case of blood congestion. The doctor described Ellen's anxiety as some sort of unknown illness.
No.
But I know that on that night, her soul heard the call of the deathbird. Nosferatu was already spreading his wings. At dawn, Hutter set out to investigate the horrors of the previous night. He was not prepared for what he found.
No!
Ma! No. As the sun fell, Hutter witnessed the chilling sight of Nosferatu loading coffins filled with dirt onto a wagon. What could this mean? No. Nosferatu was coming. Danger was on its way to Weisburg. Hutter was frantic to escape the castle and get back to his beloved Ellen. But his escape resulted in a nasty fall that left him unconscious. Oh.
Okay, I am completely creeped out. The actor Max Schreck, who plays Nosferatu, is chilling. Pointy head, bulging eyes, bat-like ears, rat-like fangs, and long claws. And maybe because this was the first vampire movie, Nosferatu doesn't act like the vampires who came in the movies after him. You can see his shadow. You can see his reflection in a mirror. His bite kills instead of turns his victim into another vampire. and he doesn't transform after he drinks the blood of his victim. Plus, he has a really ratty wardrobe. Instead of giving off charm, he gives off this filthy, underworldly, evil vibe. Bah! Zombies look friendly next to this guy. Once again, Hutter hasn't a clue he's in the presence of a vampire, even after Nosferatu tries to drink the blood on his cut finger. He's also so dim-witted he thinks the bites on his neck are from mosquitoes. Really? Get with it, man. This vampire is after you, and he wants to kill you. Good thing his wife Ellen telepathically stops Orlok from killing her husband. However, Orlok's interests change when he sees her photo, and he buys that house right away so he can live across the street from her. He said he likes her throat. Sounds pretty kinky to me. Finally, everything starts to soak into Hutter's smiling head, especially when he sees Nosferatu sleeping in his coffin in the basement. And then he sees him taking all of these coffins full of dirt and putting them onto a wagon using supernatural powers. Then he has a holy crap moment, and he panics and wants to escape. But how? He's trapped in this rickety old castle. So what does he do? He tears up his sheets, throws them out the window, and out he goes. Unfortunately, he short-sheets himself, falls to the ground, and knocks himself out. And Deadly, please stop. Your imitation of Nosferatu is creeping me out.
The raftsmen were oblivious to the strange cargo they piloted downstream.
He was brought to the hospital yesterday by farmers. They said he had fallen. He still has a fever.
No, coffins filled with dirt. No.
Caskets filled with dirt were loaded onto the schooner Impresa.
The ship sets sail tonight. Here is the bill of lading for the cargo. Destination Weisburg. Cargo 6 crates of dirt for experimental purposes.
Oh, rats! Rats! Ah! At that time, Professor Bulwer was teaching his students about carnivorous plants and the mysterious workings of nature. Like a vampire, no?
The patient who was admitted yesterday has gone stark raving mad.
As the predator Nosferatu approached, it seems that the estate agent Knock had already begun to fall under his spell.
Blood is life. Blood is life. Spiders. Spiders.
And this one here, a polyp with tentacles, transparent, almost ethereal, little more than a phantom. Ellen was often spotted on the beach in the solitude of the dunes. Her eyes scanned the waves on the horizon as she pined for her beloved. At long last, Hutter's letter to Ellen arrived.
Ellen! 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 Hutter!
Ellen, I have missed you so.
Hutter!
You must rest. You had a nasty fall.
No, I must go. I must get home as quickly as possible. Thank you for everything. Both Nosferatu and Hutter traveled to Weisburg, each by a different route. A plague epidemic has broken out in Transylvania and in the Black Sea ports of Varna and Galas. Masses of young people are dying. All victims appear to have the same strange wounds on their necks, the origin of which is still a mystery to doctors. The Dardanelles have been closed to all ships suspected of carrying the plague.
One sailor has taken ill below. He's delirious.
The plague spread quickly through the schooner Impresa. The first crewman that was infected the others. By the light of the sinking sun, the captain and first mate said goodbye to the last of the crew.
I'm going below. If I'm not back up again in 10 minutes...
Stop! One by one, everyone on board succumbed to the plague until the death ship had a new captain.
Okay, at this point in the movie, everybody go crazy. Knock goes stark raving mad. They throw him in an institution and he starts eating bugs. Professor Bulwer teaches his students about carnivorous plants that are like vampires. You know, that scene didn't really have to happen, but I think because it says the word vampire and this is a vampire movie, I got it the first time. And Ellen, she falls into this altered state and is psychically connected now to Nosferatu. That can't be a good thing. And Hutter, he wakes up from being unconscious and realizes everything is madness. The vampires, the plague, and the fact that he's got to travel another 1,000 miles just to get back home. And the ship Impresa, full of plague, kills all of the crew, and Nosferatu takes over the ship. And with his supernatural powers, he sends it from Romania through the Dardanelles, through the Mediterranean Sea, up the Atlantic coast, and back to German port. That's a long cruise. He should have just left all those coffins on the wagon and drove them overland back to Weisburg. But I guess he wanted a cruise. Not so weird. Today, people would pay thousands of dollars for that kind of cruise. Back then, it was a one-way trip.
I have wondered for a long time why it was said that Nosferatu took his coffins with him filled with dirt. I have surmised that vampires can only draw their strength from the cursed earth in which they were buried.
Hutter, Hutter, hear me. Oh.
Meanwhile, Ellen continued to call to her beloved.
Hutter, Hutter, hear me. Oh.
I must go to him. He's coming.
Hutter!
The death ship arrived at Weisburg, and Nosferatu unloaded his precious cargo.
Oh, the master is near. The master is near.
Ellen! Ellen!
Hutter. Oh.
After a difficult return journey, Hutter arrived to find Ellen in a weakened, altered state.
My beloved.
Oh, Ellen, I miss you so.
Oh, Hutter, thank God you're safe. Everything will be fine now.
Give me a hand here. The captain is dead. We've looked everywhere. Not a living soul on board.
The ship's log.
Barna, 12 July. crew, beside myself the captain, 1 helmsman, 1 ship's mate, 5 sailors.
What do you think happened? I don't know what happened, but here's the ship's log. It should tell us something. These are strange markings. Let me read you from the ship's log.
Day 2, 13 July. 1 sailor has taken ill with fever, heading south-southwest, wind direction northeast. Day 3, 14 July. Mate is talking nonsense, claims an unknown passenger is below deck.
What does this mean?
Heading southeast, wind direction northeast, day 10, 22 July. Rats in the hold of the ship, danger of plague.
Danger of plague?
Return to your homes. Bolt all windows and doors.
Be it hereby decreed by municipal authorities that citizens are forbidden to transport any plague-stricken to the hospital in order to prevent plague from spreading throughout the town.
Hutter had made Ellen promise not to touch the book that had caused him such frightening visions, but she found its strange force irresistible.
At night, that same Nosferatu digs his claws into his victims and suckles himself on the hellish elixir of their blood. Beware that his shadow does not engulf you like demonic nightmare. Deliverance is possible by no other means than that an innocent maiden make the vampire heed not the first crowing of the cock. This is done by the sacrifice of her own blood.
Many people like to read themselves to sleep with dark, disturbing, creepy books that aren't good for them, but they can't put them down. Ellen is no different. Even though her husband told her not to read the vampire book, she must. Otherwise, she has to read those really boring Victorian novels. Anyhow, this book scares the bejesus out of her, but it also gives her an idea on how to stop Count Orlok. But the question is, can she do it? Speaking of Count Orlok, it was chilling to see him rise up from his coffin. He scared that first mate so bad he jumped off the ship just to get away from him. Then he kills the captain, takes over the ship, and with his supernatural breath, powers the ship back to Weisborg. Talk about a self-driven vehicle. But then when they get to Weisborg, the city fathers see in the ship's log that they had plague, and make this big declaration that nobody who's sick can go to the hospital. That doesn't seem very fair. But then again, just a few years before this movie, the Spanish plague had killed 50 million people. So the movie just shows how terrified people are that a plague can decimate a whole population. I did learn something, however, why vampires have to sleep in a coffin full of dirt from their grave. Apparently the dirt has demonic powers that will keep them alive if they sleep in it. No wonder Nosferatu looks so dirty and scruffy. I bet he didn't take a bath either. It was funny, though, to see him carrying those coffins like they didn't weigh anything. My guess is the props were made out of cardboard and they didn't weigh anything. So what's in your coffin, Deadly? Oh, an air mattress. Of course. Deadly's not a vampire. Duh.
Fear lurked in every corner of town. Who was still healthy? Who was sick?
Ellen, I asked you not to read that book.
Oh, Hatter. That is what I look at every night. I'm so frightened.
No, no, not him.
Oh, Hatter. I'm so frightened. Oh.
No, no.
The plague claimed many souls in Weisburg. A constant parade of coffins filled the streets.
Deliverance is possible by no other means than that an innocent maiden make the vampire heed not the first crowing of the cock. This is done by the sacrifice of her own blood.
The town was paralyzed by fear. They were looking for a sacrifice. They chose Knock.
He strangled him, he did. He's a vampire.
There he is! There's Knock! As night fell, Ellen could feel the presence of Nosferatu calling to her, possessing her.
Hunter, get the doctor. Get the doctor. Hunter. Oh. My beloved.
Slowly he made his way to her, to drink her blood. You must come! It's Ellen! It's Ellen! They can't knock!
The master! The master! The master! The master is dead!
Ellen. Ellen, my darling. No. Oh, no. And the truth bore witness to the miracle. At that very moment, the great death came to an end, and the shadow of the deathbird was gone, as if obliterated by the rays of the living sun.
So there you have it. A 1922 black and white silent movie horror masterpiece, and one that launched over 100 movies about vampires and had many adaptations. It also had a story about a young woman who made an ultimate sacrifice to save her community, and a chilling portrayal of a vampire for the very first time. This movie teaches me that selling real estate isn't all it's cracked up to be, especially if you have to sell it out of town. It also teaches me be very careful what you read before you go to bed, in case it conjures up all kinds of evil spirits and other things to make you have nightmares. And just when you think that modern horror movies are the cutting edge with all their technology and makeup, remember Nosferatu, the first vampire movie. So until next time, or not, this is Arachna of the Spider People, wishing you nighty-night, and don't let any vampires bite. You know, Dudley, I've always wanted to take a cruise, and I don't want to seem ungrateful, but this ship doesn't look at all like what was in the brochure. Are you sure you didn't book the bargain basement cruise by mistake? Also, they said there'd be lots of on-deck activities. I never thought that swabbing the deck would be part of it. You know, I'm gonna go downstairs and rest. I'm not feeling so good. I hope I don't have Legionnaire's disease. Like I said, Dudley, this doesn't look like any of the pictures in the brochure. Do I hear footsteps? No. Do I hear rats? No, please, no rats, no rats. It's so dark down here, Dudley. I don't know if we're going to find our cabin. Plus, look at those stains on the wall. They look like a person. Look. Oh, there's our cabin, I think. You first, Dudley. You know, it's really creepy down here. I'm glad you're here to protect me. Oh, there's our cabin. You know, Dudley, you would think this cruise line would have maid service. This room's a mess. Oh, wait a minute, that's not your coffin. We're in the wrong room. He looks hungry. Let's get out of here before he gets us, or before he beats us to the buffet line. Oh no, Dudley, here he comes. Jump, jump, Dudley, jump. Dudley. Dudley. Good, he made it. Ah! Talk about rats deserting a ship. That's a big one. Okay, Dudley, here I come. Let me take my shoes off. Okay, here I come. Good thing your coffin floats, Dudley. Those other coffins, the ones filled with all that dirt, they went right to the bottom. Oh, and look, you packed a flare gun. How thoughtful of you. Maybe if I shoot this off, the Coast Guard will come and rescue us. Or not. Not funny, Dudley. Not funny at all. Well, I guess it's time to start paddling. I am definitely going to send a complaint letter to that cruise line.
You know, there are lots of activities going on about this season of the year. The one you'll find uppermost in the minds of most high school students, especially toward the end of any week, is football. And the night before the big game, there's generally a rally. Now, you don't want to be late, but before you go, remember, you're planning to bring the gang in afterwards. Now you've got the idea. Put plenty of Coke in that refrigerator. Ice-cold Coca-Cola will be a mighty welcome sight when you return. You know, it's a good idea to keep plenty of Coke on ice all the time. Coca-Cola has a distinctive flavor, all its own, a flavor that has never been equaled. Coca-Cola is popular with everyone, which makes it ideal when you're expecting guests. Now, that's true whether it's a casual gathering like this one or a planned party. The bright, bracing flavor of Coke is always welcome. It's a flavor that has made Coca-Cola the most asked-for soft drink in the world. Have a Coke.
supply of Ritz seems on the fritz.
No, stop, darling. Don't blow your top. I always keep another box handy.
Dandy! He knows Ritz crackers are richer, crisper, and his mouth is full, or he'd help us whisper. Only Nabisco.
What I need is a vampire cocktail to settle my nerves. It'll not only settle them, it will petrify. A vampire cocktail. You like it? It hates you. I've had several letters asking whether olives or cherries should be used in making my cocktail. Well, actually, neither is necessary, since they'd only disintegrate upon being put into the cocktail. However, if you want to use some garnish, you can drop in an eyeball, if you happen to have an extra one around the house. You know, I've often been asked why I don't light my attic with electricity. Isn't that ridiculous? Everybody knows electricity is for chairs. Our little fairy tale tonight is called The 13th Guest. The 13 makes it timely, topical, and terrifying. It's about a humorous fellow who dies telling a joke. Something of a deadpan comedian. Here. Let me darken the room, and we shall commence.
Sure about the address, miss?
Yes, this is the place. You'll be sure and wait for me now, won't you?
Sure, I'll wait.
Come on.
That's funny.
Number, please. Oh, I'm at 122 Old Mill Road. This house hasn't been occupied for 13 years, and yet there's a telephone in it. Can you tell me who had it installed?
I wouldn't have that information, madam. I could connect you with a night supervisor, but she'd have to wait until the business office opens in the morning. I'm sorry.
All the modern improvements. You might have cleaned the place up a bit. Oh, yes, of course. Dad sat there. I sat next to him. Mr. Barksdale sat next to me. Aunt Lucille. Uncle John. Harold. Mother. Thor. Marjorie. Uncle Dick. Aunt Joan. Uncle Wayne. And Mr. Barksdale? Mr. Barksdale, is that you? Mr. Barksdale? Mr. Barksdale?
Police station, Captain Ryan speaking. Yeah? The old Morgan place?
He says he drove a youngster out there about 30 minutes ago.
Hold the driver, I'll be right over.
Okay.
Wake up, you dumb mass of muscle, and get going.
Huh?
Come on.
Well, where are we going?
Oh, the... Got her in a mackerel. All right. Give me Stuyvesant 9600.
You can go. Leave your address. We'll want you later.
Yes, sir.
What? Well, keep ringing them.
Hello.
Hello, Phil. This is Ryan. Listen, we've got a swell case down here.
I'm not interested.
Give me Stuyvesant 9600.
When you hear the tone of the gong, it will be exactly 12 o'clock and 6 split seconds.
Ring that number again. Hello, you. Say, what's the idea of putting that dame on the phone? I know what time it is.
What time is it?
Shut up. No, I don't mean you. Don't hang up. I want you to get over here right away. There's been a murder. I know, but this is a good murder. Listen, 13 years ago, a guy invited all his relatives to dinner.
The sap deserved to die. Well, arrest the mother-in-law and don't bother me anymore. Oh, all right, but make it snappy.
All right. There was 12 people there. The table was set for 13. The 13th guest never got there. That was 13 years ago. And now tonight we find a dame murdered, and she's sitting at the table in the 13th chair. Huh? I counted them. She was sitting in the 13th chair.
You dumb flatfoot. Who told you where to start counting? Well, go back and count the girl's chair first and let me know how you come out. And give my love to Aunt Sarah.
Ring that number again and keep ringing it. And then tell the night supervisor I want to know who had a couple of phones installed at 122 Old Mill Road if you have to get the whole Bell family out of bed.
I'm Winston, private investigator. Captain Ryan sent for me.
Yes, sir. Go right in.
And have fun, huh?
Call up headquarters and tell Clarence I'm sending those prints.
Yes, sir. Oh, what's the number?
Central You dumb idiot, don't you even know that? Get out and look it up. The discipline will do you good.
Yes, sir. Hello, Mr. Winston. We got a swell murder here.
Good. And the number you want is Central 5000.
Huh? Oh, yeah. 5,000. Central 5,000.
Well, you certainly took your time.
I was busy.
Yeah, sure. When you hear the gong, the time will be 12 o'clock and 6 split seconds. Yeah. Have a look at this, and then I'll introduce you to the lady. This house has been unoccupied for 13 years, yet the phone's installed and the electricity turned on. I'm tracing that. Those books are on the floor. That's all in here. Now come on and have a look at the banquet.
The kid sure holds still all right.
Same old joke.
If I had a day off, I'd think up a new one. You can have her now, Doc.
Just a minute. I want Winston to have a look.
Oh, will you take care of that, Jerry, please?
Okay.
Too bad. Pretty girl.
You wouldn't notice that. Seen enough?
Yeah.
Okay, Doc.
Say, how did you know about that dinner party 13 years ago?
Oh, every man and his dog knows that story around here. Morgan, Sr., dropped dead just after they all sat down to the table. The old lady, she was young then, must have been a little bit cracked herself. She wouldn't allow a thing to be touched. Just closed up the house and moved out, and that's that. And all these guys have been waiting for the dinner ever since. Gives me the willies every time I think of it.
Well, don't think then. Do you know who the girl is?
Sure. Daughter, Marie Morgan. Had her whole life's history in her handbag, but no address. The driver that brought her out here said he picked her up on the corner of 59th and Park.
The apartment house?
No, on the corner. We've been checking up on the apartment houses around there now.
How was she killed?
Wait till you hear. The doc hasn't said for sure yet, but it looks like she was electrocuted.
Electrocuted?
I thought of that too. Not a wire on it.
That was it. Electricity. Enough to kill her, but not to burn the body. I wonder where she got it.
Say, that light in the living room...
I'll get it.
Well, what about that light in the living room?
Tain't on. I tried this globe in every socket in the room and it don't work.
Oh, maybe the globe's burned out.
Never thought of that.
Anyway, I don't think I'd go around trying light sockets if I were you.
Why?
Didn't it occur to you that a young lady was electrocuted here tonight and that she might have been trying light sockets?
Hello, operator. See if you can trace that call and ring me back. Make it snappy. Yes, darling, there's been a murder. You can read all about it in the morning papers. She listened in on all the other calls. Why the devil didn't she listen in on that one?
What was it?
I don't know. I just heard the receiver going up after I answered. Hello, Captain Ryan speaking. Sound Hotel? Thank you, sister. Oh, Grump!
Yes, sir.
Beat it over to the Sound Hotel and see if you can trace that call. Get a list of all the guests and all the telephone calls after midnight. And don't muff it.
No, sir.
And don't go to sleep.
Yes, sir. Oh, well, how am I going to get there?
You can drive a car, can't you, sweetheart? Take mine and beat it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, if that guy's uncle don't die soon, I'll be a nervous wreck.
Who's the uncle?
Just the big boss in the city, that's all.
Oh, so that's why he's on the force.
You don't suppose because he got any brains?
Hey, Cap, come here. Come here, will you?
Oh.
Come here, Cap.
What's the matter now?
The car, look at it. It ain't there.
Well, I'll be a son of a... What are you laughing at?
Nothing. I just think it's funny. I'm glad you invited me down.
Yeah.
It's bad luck to see your bride before the ceremony.
I couldn't wait any longer, Babs. I had to give you your wedding surprise.
Surprise?
Yes, honey. Take a look.
Oh, darling, a new car.
Just as good as new. It's a beautiful used car.
Come in, boys. Yeah. Okay. Sit down. I'll see you in a few minutes. Did they identify the body?
Yes, sir.
Which one of you is the brother?
I am.
Friend of yours?
Yes. And of my sister.
All right, boys, I won't keep you long. Either of you know a man named Barksdale?
Yes, we both do. He was my father's lawyer.
Is he still handling the estate?
Yes. Why?
We'll ask the questions if you don't mind, son. Wasn't your father's will a little unusual?
It was quite unusual. He provided for my mother, for Marie and me, and left the bulk of the estate to the 13th guest.
Who was that?
We don't know. The 13th guest never arrived.
Screwy. Anything else about this guest?
No. Except that we always supposed that he'd come forward or be named when we became of age.
Well, when'll that be?
Well, why, do you suppose that might have had something to do with it? Marie was 21 yesterday.
What?
Yes. Barksdale called her the other day and told her to...
Oh, I'm not interested in that.
Well, I am.
All right, be interested.
Wait a minute. Where are you going?
Out. I'll see you later.
Say, but... oh...
I suppose you were at that dinner party your father gave?
Yes.
Where'd your sister sit that night?
Why, beside my father. She always sat there.
Which side?
On his right.
Will you draw me a diagram of that table, name the people in the seating arrangement, and if any of them have died since, make a note of it? Have you kept in touch with the family?
When we couldn't avoid it.
Well, put down their addresses and leave it with the captain here. Thanks.
Do you remember how we sat that night?
Yes, I think so.
Were you there?
Well, I was visiting there. We were just kids then, but it isn't easy to forget a thing like that dinner party.
I suppose not. I've got a hunch I'll be thinking about it for some time myself.
Let us hear about that phone call from Barksdale and I'll let you go.
Well, there isn't much to it except that Barksdale called her a few days ago and gave her some instructions. Something she was supposed to do on her 21st birthday.
And you don't remember what they were?
I know. She wouldn't tell me.
And we're supposed to find the answer. Does anybody know anything? What's the matter with the old man besides being nuts? Are you sure this dinner wasn't held in an insane asylum?
What?
Ryan, calm down. Take these boys to the next office and give them some paper and pencils. And send Carter in.
Yes, sir.
You boys better stick around. We might want you. It's too bad, son. Take care of yourself.
And what do you mean?
Nothing much.
You mean they might go after me?
They might.
Well, I don't think I'd care if they did.
Well, we would. It costs the department a lot of dough to investigate a murder.
Well, in that case, I'll be careful. Well, thanks. You've been very considerate today.
That's all right, son. Well, what do you think?
I can't think. I'm numb. Why the devil does a man have to go through all that hocus pocus just to leave a will? It burns me up.
Well, stop burning. Carter will make you happy.
Yeah?
Hey, Carter. Let's see what you got.
Yes, sir. Here are the deposit slips of the telephones and lights, ordered by one John Barksdale.
Barksdale? So that's where you got it, huh?
Yeah, feel better now?
I'll say. Wait till I lay my hands on this guy.
Also a man answering to Barksdale's description, registered at the Sound Hotel last night about 9:30, under the name of Perry, and at 1:22 put in a call to Douglason 968, then checked out of his hotel immediately after. Now, he hasn't been home since, and he hasn't shown up at his office yet, and his folks are beginning to worry.
Well, now, isn't that too bad? Tell them they can see him on Visitor's Day. Let's go.
Pardon me, sir. I managed to dig this up out of the Daily Herald files. It's Barksdale.
Swell. Let's send it out at once.
Okay. Put a couple of the boys on those two kids in there. They may be all right, and again, they may not.
Yes, sir. Anything else for me, sir?
No, but stick around.
Okay.
Calling all cars. Calling all cars.
Stand by for description of one John Barksdale, wanted for questioning on the Morgan murder case. Last seen on Long Island driving a Packard Touring, license unknown. Description: 50 years, 6 feet, gray hair, eyes brown. That is all.
Hello? Hello? I should ring you wrong.
Hello.
Well, I don't care. You can call me all the names you want.
I've run out of names to call you.
I don't care. Mr. Wilson, if you'd have heard it, you'd
Well, what did it sound like, Grump?
Well, it sounded like Tarzan. Tarzan. And the devil and a couple of hyenas thrown in.
Well, could you give me an idea of what it sounded like?
Well, yeah, it started kind of up like, that ain't just it, you know, it's kind of like it.
Well, perhaps if you tried it again, Grump.
Yeah, well, it's just,
Dumb idiot. Don't you know when you're being ribbed? Shut up.
Oh, I was only trying to...
Shut up. Get out. What is that?
Oh. Arachna, who put all them books there?
So would I. Did you go to sleep today?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Get out of my sight before I kill you.
Yeah.
Hey, Phil, come here.
You come here.
Where are you?
In the dining room.
Oh. Is he dead? It's Barksdale.
Can you beat that? Search the house upstairs and down.
Yes, sir.
Not that it'll do much good. Phil, what's the answer? It's got me worried plenty.
Me too. But I'm beginning to be glad that I wasn't invited to that dinner party years ago.
Yeah.
Here's the diagram young Morgan drew today. Take a look at the seating arrangement. First, we find the girl's body in the chair that she sat in that night. And now this. Are you beginning to get the idea?
Gee, yes. Ye gods, Phil. Are they going to line this table with stiffs?
That's the way it looks, unless we do something.
But that's crazy.
It very nearly confirms one thing, though. The person doing it was at the table that night.
I'll get it, boss. Cap! Help! Cap!
What's the matter now?
No. Yeah. Oh.
How did you get out of the morgue?
I haven't been in any morgue. Take your hands off me.
Be nice.
I won't. Let me alone.
Do you want me to spank you? Hold still. That's a good little girl. What's your name? Marie Morgan?
Yes?
What did you say?
I asked this child here if she were Marie Morgan.
I'm no child.
Will you shut up?
And she said yes.
And she said yes.
I don't know. Maybe it's something I ate, and this is the nightmare. Where did you pick her up?
I found her riding around in your car.
In my...
I was on my way to the police station.
Yes, and baby, you're still on your way to the police station. Take her down and lock her up. I've got some things I want to ask her about.
You can't arrest me.
Oh, can't I? That's what they all say. Maybe it's all a mistake. And maybe you can explain everything. And I'll bet you won't say a word until you see your lawyer.
Well, I won't.
All right, baby. Come and see your lawyer. Yourself to a good look.
Oh. Murdered?
That's right. Do you know anything about it?
No. No, of course not. Oh, what can this mean?
That's what we're going to find out. Take her and lock her in the library till we get through here. Was she headed for police station?
She was going in that direction.
Call up city headquarters and report this. Call the coroner. Then stick around outside.
Yes, sir.
Now, why did you ask that girl if she was Marie Morgan?
I think she is.
What about the other dame? There are no twins.
No, but the other girl had several small scars around her face. Didn't you notice them?
Yes, but I didn't think anything about it.
Well, I did. I thought she'd had her face lifted.
Well, what a blasted idiot I've been. That's why you were so surprised when her brother told you she was 21.
Certainly. No kid that age is going to have her face lifted.
And you beat it back to the morgue to have another look.
Right. And took a good plastic surgeon with me. She hadn't had her face lifted. She'd had it completely made over.
Well, I'll be... Now, that commences to make sense. Barksdale made an appointment with the real Marie Morgan to meet him here. They planned to kill her and substitute the other girl, huh?
Who planned to kill her?
Huh? Barksdale made the appointment?
Yes, but if Barksdale was in on it, which he may have been, who killed the gentleman on your right?
Little Bo Peep.
Operator.
I wouldn't do that if I were you. The police might not like it.
I was only trying to call my brother.
We'll call him later. You're going to take a ride with me.
Where to?
To my apartment.
She'd be safer in jail.
Don't worry, she won't get away.
I didn't mean that. I said she'd be safer in jail.
And you may go to the devil.
Why, Larry, you're not even dressed yet. You know we have a very important appointment in exactly 10 minutes.
Well, it'll only take me 10 seconds. They don't call me Magic Man for nothing. I'm now off to visit the best men's store in town.
Oh, I've seen you do this 100 times, but it always frightens me. Oh, where are you?
Here I am. They have quick and dependable service at my men's store. The latest in styles, too.
Mr. Adams, Mr. Winston.
Why, my dear child. Why, I'm almost afraid to touch you. What is the meaning of all this? Why, I'll have to send back that cutaway I ordered for your funeral.
You wear those to weddings, not funerals. This is Uncle Adams, the worst old reprobate who ever lived.
My dear, you're covering quite a lot of territory. How do you do, Mr. Winston? I'm delighted.
How do you do?
If you give him a drink, I think he may keep still.
What'll it be, scotch and soda?
Splendid, thanks. Easy on the soda.
There you are.
If you want my opinion, it's Uncle Adams who's been committing all the murders.
All the murders?
Mr. Barksdale was murdered today in the old house.
Barksdale? My word. Not that I ever liked the old devil, you understand, but murdered. Well, what's the meaning of it, Mr. Winston? You're investigating the case, I suppose?
Unofficially. I'm a friend of Captain Ryan.
Yes, of course. I've heard of you. Well, have you any clues, don't you call them? Any ideas?
No, but he has a laugh for you.
Really? Well, let's have it.
You're next.
What?
According to Mr. Winston's theory, you're next on the list. Unless, of course, you've been doing the murders yourself.
Really, Marie, you've always had the most peculiar sense of humor.
Must be some more of the family. I'm doing the resurrection act.
And enjoying it thoroughly, if I know you. You certainly startled me.
Did I? Mr. and Mrs. Thornton, Mr. Winston and Miss Thornton.
How do you do?
How do you do?
If you'll explain your reasons.
Well, for heaven's sake, I thought you were dead.
Disappointed?
Well, why be a hypocrite? You know I've always hated your...
Marjorie, if you say that word again, I'll disown you.
What a loss. Is this for private use only? I suppose you're a Winston.
At your service.
I may take you up on that.
Mm-hmm.
If this is another one of your jokes, Marie, I must say it's in bad taste. I've been simply prostrated all day.
I'll bet you have.
Bridge always tires Mother.
Marjorie.
May I answer it?
Certainly.
Let me.
Certainly, yes. Bud!
Why, Marie, it is you. Oh, my dear.
They tried to kill me. Are you glad I'm alive?
Am I glad?
I think you are.
But what does it mean, sis? They made us go down and look at that other girl. We thought it was you.
Did you cry?
Well, to tell you the truth, honey, we both went home and got potted.
That's just as good.
Come on in. Mr. Winston has the whole family here. He says one of them is the murderer.
I'm giving odds on Uncle Adams.
Uncle Adams? He's too lazy to commit a murder. But tell me, darling, what happened to you?
I'll tell you later. Well, here we are. Just one big, happy family.
Oh, hello, Thor. Who was that blonde I saw you with the other night?
There was no blonde, and you know it.
Oh, well. Dear Marjorie, your soul must look like the inside of a vinegar bottle.
By Jove, it's a good idea. I wish I'd thought of it myself.
What's that?
Killing off the family. It must be some poor soul that had the misfortune to dine with us when we were all together.
I think you're right. Someone who dined with you 13 years ago.
Really? Oh, you mean the night that John read that stupid will?
And then died.
Well, mercy, don't ogle me. I didn't kill him.
No one killed him as far as we know. Does anyone here know the present whereabouts of Wayne Seymour?
The last time I saw him, I got an impression that he was going to spend the rest of his days at number 9, Yokohama. I see you know your Yokohama, Mr. Winston.
I've traveled a bit. With the exception of Wayne Seymour, you people were the only guests at that dinner who are still alive.
Well, and we're dead from the neck up.
Speak for yourself, John.
I'll speak if you don't mind.
Go ahead, but a few snappy jokes injected here and there would make a world of difference. You see, we're accustomed to public speaking.
I'm afraid this isn't a joking matter. It looks as if someone is determined to kill every person who attended that dinner 13 years ago. They've already killed 2 people.
Two?
Yes. A girl mistaken for Miss Morgan and John Barksdale.
Mr.
What? Barksdale murdered?
Very much so. And in both cases, the bodies were found in the chairs occupied by that person at the dinner. And as Captain Ryan so elegantly describes it, the murderer intends to line the table with stiffs.
Oh, how vulgar.
Well, thank goodness I was under the table most of the time.
Yes, pinching me.
Oh, I was a cute youngster, always full of fun.
Someday I'll look at your baby pictures, but just now we're discussing murder.
Which automatically makes one think of the Marjorie.
Speak for yourself, John.
Shall we go on with this, or just turn it into a family reunion?
Well, why not have a blindfold test? Wouldn't matter which one you picked. We'd all cut each other's throats for a dime.
Why a dime? I'd cut yours for fun.
Give me police headquarters. Detective Bureau, Captain Brown's office.
Well, it isn't every day you get a chance to see a mastermind at work.
Hello. Who's this speaking? Oh, this is Winston. Send the wagon to my apartment and issue 4 John Doe and 3 Jane Doe warrants. Material witnesses in the Morgan case. Right. I've got them here.
Really, you're quite amusing, Mr. Winston.
Thank you. You'll like the matron in the city jail, too. She's one of the Philadelphia Smiths. Perhaps by this time you're beginning to see that I mean business. Now then, do you want to stop trying to be clever, or do you want to spend the night in jail?
Winnie, do the men have separate wards from the women?
I think you settled it then, young lady. Night in jail may make you people see that murder isn't amusing.
This is an outrage.
So is murder.
Why, you can't do this.
Wait and see.
I'll break you for this. The governor is a personal friend of mine.
And of mine. And I happen to know that he's a little funny when it comes to murder. He doesn't like it.
Don't be a lot of fools. He doesn't intend to send us.
The police, Mr. Vincent.
Yes, so I see. Good evening, Sergeant.
Good evening, sir.
Have you the warrants?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes. Yes, all signed and in order. All right. Take these people down and lock them up.
Yes, sir. All right, step lively. I demand to see my lawyer.
Miss Morgan saw her lawyer today, and I don't think she enjoyed it.
Well, you'll be sorry for this.
Good night, Winnie dear.
Mr. Winston.
Good night, my dear, and sweet dreams.
Hello. Come on down, dearie. We've got another corpse.
What? But the family's all locked up.
Yeah, sure. You're a smart guy. I don't know. I haven't over yet. You coming down? Okay.
Get me to the police station. Hello. Give me the desk sergeant, the city jail. Yeah. Hello. This is Winston, private investigator on the Morgan case. I sent down 7 of the upper crust for you. Will you send somebody in and see if they're all there?
Yes, sir. Hey, Mike, take a look at the 400 and see if they're all there. Okay, Sergeant.
What's the matter with her?
Who cares? Don't touch her, Marjorie.
Hey, what's the matter? What? What? She says that you remind her of her mother.
Pipe down. You can't do this.
I demand that
Yes, I know. You're going to write a letter to the commissioner.
I won't stay in here another moment.
Say, what are you trying to do, rip me?
Dear me, no.
Say, if you guys don't dumb me up, there's going to be a murder.
Well, that's what we're here for. 2 murders. He did them.
What? Hey, pipe down here.
Here, officer, I demand it.
Oh, go read your ticker. I want to know what Steele's doing. All there, Sergeant.
Okay. All there, Mr. Winston?
Okay, thanks. Oh, wait a minute. Turn them all loose, but put a man on each one of them. Yeah, I'll be responsible.
Wire runs over here, then goes no place at all. I've scoured the whole house. Now, the only answer is there must be a closet or a room somewhere that we don't know anything about.
I don't want to know anything about it.
All right, Bill. Make it snappy. Cut it right there. What do you make of that, huh?
I wonder. Steel.
Great guns.
Nothing rubber about that. Come on, let's get out of here. I've seen sights, but that one. Oh.
Rather a neat way of doing it, though, huh?
I don't think it's neat. It's fiendish as the devil. Do you realize that the murderer left that switch on, not caring who got killed?
And while he's asleep in the county jail, he commits another murder.
But he wasn't here to turn off the switch and bring the body in here. I think that cinches it. But which one?
Well, you saw them. Which is the most likely?
Well, the odds are about even. There's a cousin Marjorie who'd commit murder just for the fun of it. And her mother'd kill anything that stood in her way. But I think it stands between the two uncles. Adams is as smooth an old devil as I've ever seen. But Thornton's deep. You know, the big businessman who'd stop at nothing.
What about the brother and his boyfriend?
I think they're all right. Jensen's in love with the girl, and her brother seems genuinely fond of her.
Well, what's the girl's story?
Well, she says someone shot at her in the dark. She ran upstairs and hid. And by the way, she heard that same cry that Grump heard. And according to her, it wasn't particularly pleasant.
Just the same, I'd like to hear it. And what else did she do besides steal my car?
Well, she said she came back down, was about to beat it out the front door when she heard a car and motorcycle drive up. Said by that time she didn't know where to turn. And when she came in here and saw her double sitting cold and stiff at the table, she did go nuts. Got scared of the police as well as the rest. Hid in the cellar and then stole the car. She hid out all the next day. Thought better of it and was on her way to the station when they picked her up. It's logical.
Barksdale asked her out here?
Yes. And what they were all after, I think, was a slip of paper that she'd got that day at the bank. Which doesn't make much sense, of course, unless it's a safe combination.
What was it?
13, 13, 13.
13. I'd like to get old man Morgan alone for about 10 minutes. I'd teach the old buzzard how to write a will. Well, we get the family down here and try and sweat it out of them, or shall we put a close watch on them and see who comes down here?
Well, I'm in favor of the last. Now, our friend may get curious and come down to see if he's had another killing.
Then we keep this last one quiet, huh?
That's right. I've got a hunch it's the missing uncle. I'm going to call Miss Morgan.
Call the coroner, too, will you? I'm kind of ashamed to because I've bothered him so much lately.
Thank you. Well, if this is the kind of service I'm going to get killed every day. I'll get it. Hello? Miss Morgan's apartment.
How'd you like our city jail? Listen, child. I want you to destroy that slip of paper at once. And don't tell anyone what was written on it. Not even your brother. But no one's accusing your brother. Say, listen, don't you get too smart. You know, there's a distinct prejudice in the police department against little girls who go around stealing police cars. Oh, you're not? Well, 21's a mere drop in the bucket. Say, will you shut up and let me talk? Now listen, don't tell anyone those numbers. And if anyone tries to get them out of you, let me know immediately. Will you do that? like a sweet little girl.
That was the great sleuth, Winston.
Yeah? What did he want?
He told me not to tell anybody the numbers on that slip of paper.
What numbers?
13, 13, 13. Oh, gosh.
Trust a woman.
Oh, well, for goodness sake, don't tell him I told you.
All right, we won't.
And now we will sail away. And we will be the only ones to know where that fine treasure chest of jewelry is buried. One day we'll come back and dig it up and live like queens.
Right, Captain Kitty.
That chest is chock full of the most beautiful jewelry in all the world. Sure hope that store never runs out of that fine stuff.
Shame on you, looking at those things.
Huh?
Why don't you have luncheon with me? It'll be more comfortable than standing out here.
How'd you know I was following you?
Have you ever been to the zoo?
Sure.
Did you see the elephants?
Yeah.
Well, that's how I know.
Huh?
I'm afraid you're not very bright, but you may come in handy. I'm about to go calling. Would you like to come along?
I gotta go wherever you go.
Is that a theme song, or just your quaint way of saying things?
Oh, well,
You'd better ride with me. You know, I'm getting a pain in the neck from looking back at you. Come on. Of course, just looking at you may give me a pain in the neck. Get in.
Okay, stay there until you're relieved. That was Bentley, detailed to watch Adams. He says Adams hasn't left the house all day. But some dame just came up in a limousine with Grump.
Grump? He's tailing the Thornton girl.
Tailing her? He's riding in the limousine with her.
What?
I'd give $100 to see that.
Come in.
There's a Dr. Sherwood outside. Says he has some information on the Morgan case.
Dr. Sherwood?
Yes, sir.
Send him in. I hope he's our man. Oh, Doctor.
Captain Brown?
How do you do? Won't you sit down?
Yeah. Thank you.
I hope you're a plastic surgeon.
I see you're ahead of me. I am, as a matter of fact. And I operated on the young lady who was killed. I only saw your notice in the paper this morning.
Yeah, well, we didn't know until last night that the wrong girl had been killed. When did you operate on her?
Several months ago. 3, as a matter of fact. She and her brother came to me.
What?
Well, she said he was her brother.
What name did they give?
Morgan.
Morgan? May I take Dr. Sherwood over to Miss Morgan's apartment?
Okay.
You could identify the brother, couldn't you?
Oh, certainly. He came to me twice.
Fine. Let's go.
Well, goodbye, Captain Brown.
Goodbye, Doctor, and thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, hello.
Come here, Doctor. That your man?
No.
Say, why aren't you down at the old house?
Well, I'm rather tired of being there so much. Have you a picture of your friend Jensen around?
Yes, I think so. But look here, Mr. Winston. Marie's gone down to the old house to meet you.
What?
Didn't you call her?
Well, no.
You didn't call her?
No, I tell you. What's it all about?
I just got in. She left this.
Was it? Oh, honey. Oh, get a picture of Jensen and show it to the doctor, will you, please? Hello, operator. Get me Douglas in 968. Hurry it.
That's the one.
Hurry with that call.
Hello. Hello? Oh, yes.
Now listen, child. Don't get in a panic, but get out of the house as quick as you can. Is there an officer guarding it?
Yes. He let me in when I told him you... Mr. Winston, didn't you call me?
Now, don't get in a panic. Just get the officer to drive you to the Douglaston police station and wait for me there. Now beat it.
All right.
Where's Miss Morgan? Hasn't she been here?
No, no one's been here.
You come with me. I may need you. No, wait. Stay here. Tell Ryan to beat it over to the Morgan house as soon as he gets here.
Yes, sir.
Isn't she there?
No. He'll come around all right. Come on. Go quietly.
Look out!
Come on, here, cut it out. Cut it out. Come on.
Kill her! Get him out!
Come on. Cut it out.
What did you do with my sister?
Here, cut it out. Come on, get up. Go let him in. Now then, what have you done with Miss Morgan? Come on now, make it snappy.
Miss Morgan? I don't know.
Where is she?
What's this?
Just a swell species of skunk. Now, come on, tell me. What have you done with her?
I tell you,
Did you call her and tell her to meet me here?
No, I swear I didn't.
We know all about Sherwood and the other girls, so you may as well tell us the rest. Who was in on this with you?
Barksdale. So you killed her and then Barksdale so you wouldn't have to split, huh?
No, I don't know who killed them. I swear it. Pick up that phone.
No. Why not?
Because that's the way Leela got it.
You were there that night. Did you kill her?
No, I saw her after shooting at Miss Morgan.
No, I didn't.
Now you're a liar. Go on, take him down and lock him up.
But Phil...
I tell you, Ryan, it doesn't make good sense. Why go to all the trouble to impersonate someone and then kill the impersonator? Jensen tried to kill Miss Morgan, but somebody else killed the girl thinking it was Miss Morgan. Jensen knew the difference. There have been two different factions working in this against each other.
But where's...
Exactly. Get an axe. Break that wall in.
All right.
And son, you'd better go on back to the station.
Why?
Because I don't think your sister's going to be alive when we find her.
I don't know. Help me. No. You know what they are. Help me. Help me. I know, but if you kill me, you'll never know.
You little fool. Don't you know that I'll kill you anyway?
Tell me. Stop. All right. 13.
You better not be lying.
It's a swell joke.
Come on. Get out of here. Come on.
Get out of the way, Molly. Go for your gun, Tex. Guess you got me, Alabama. I ain't wearing my shooting irons. Just one thing before you shoot. Will you bury me with my boots on? Okay, Tex. Say, where'd you get them boots? That's mighty fine-looking footwear. Why, I got these at the best shoe store in town. And at a mighty fair price, too. Well, by golly. How about taking me down to that shoe store right now?
But what about me?
See you later, Molly. Yep, Alabama, you'll get just what you're looking for at this shoe store, because they've got the best styles in town.
Got a patent on that little electrical device of yours, Adams?
No, I'm sorry to say. I haven't.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it if I were you. The state's got something that works along the same lines. And we're going to give you an exclusive demonstration. Take him out.
Come on, move.
Will they let you into that safety deposit box?
Sure.
What did you find?
Only $1 million in securities for her.
$1 million?
How disgusting. I hope it isn't U.S. Steel.
Don't worry, it isn't. I left the securities there, of course, but this letter was on top, and I thought you'd want it.
Thank you. To Marie, the 13th guest. Can you imagine that? I was it all the time. The poor lamb. Read it.
Aloud?
Why, yes.
My dear child, I am making a rather melodramatic attempt to protect your fortune. But if I am right about the other members of the family, it is almost certain to reveal them to you in their true light, so that you will not make the same mistake I made when I married into it. Bless you, my dear, and may they have killed each other off by the time you receive this, your father. It's sad, but it's also darn good advice.
What?
Not to marry into a screwy family.
Aye.
Tell me where you've been.
Well, first I went... Well, you told me to tailor.
Hello.
Hello, Phil. This is Ryan. Listen, I've got another swell...
I'm not interested.
When you hear the tone of the gong, it will be exactly 12 o'clock and 6 split seconds.
Hello? Ring Stuyvesant 9600 and keep ringing it. And when you've done that, well, ring it some more.
Unpleasant dreams, darlings.